Hi everyone! Today I am so excited because this is my first video of my Total Polish Junkie channel, and it makes me, I'm completely ecstatic. I've been wanting to start this for a while and I haven't been able to, due to just things happening in life, and I've been putting it off, but I'm like, no more, I'm not going to put it off anymore. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to make this video, and I'm going to start my channel. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah, so I hope that this does turn into something. I really want to try to do frequent videos. I have a lot of ideas already in store, so I'm really wanting to get those all created. But for today's video though, we're going to be talking, kind of comparing a couple different nail polish brands. So first I just want to show you the polishes that we're going to kind of look at. I wanted to try to keep them close in the same color range. So we have 5 different bottles we're going to be looking at. So we have, this is the OPI and China Glaze, and then we have Essie and Sally Hansen's here. So the OPI is Big Apple Red, and the China Glaze is red Satin. And then for Essie, this one is called Funday. And our Sally Hansen, we have First Kiss. This is the complete Salon Manicure. And then we have the Xtreme wear in Fuchsia Power. So like I said, I wanted to keep them all within the same family, and we're going to be kind of looking at the brushes and talking about some different ones. The reason why I kind of want to do this is, particularly these brands, is because these tend to be the brands that most people gravitate towards, or at least that I've noticed. You know, there has some nicer brands like the OPI and China Glaze and some drugstore brands, but these still, even the OPI is still, you know, relatively inexpensive compared to like high-end polishes. So, you know, not very many people either own a lot of the high-end polishes or even want to buy them because, you know, it's a lot of money. And me particularly, I own very few of the higher end stuff because it's just, I don't see the point in paying $15–20 for a bottle of nail polish when I can go buy very similar things for like half the price. So that's why I kind of want to talk about these different ones, and there's a lot of different things I want to talk about with them in terms of price and all kinds of things. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into the comparison, and then afterwards I want to talk a little bit more about a few things. So please stay tuned afterwards also to look at a few things. I want to talk about really is price and what they are. So, you know, Sally, I mean, and I know this is pretty basic and people probably know all this, but I kind of just want to touch on it just in case you don't know very much. So, you know, really Sally Hansen is your drugstore one, and that's the one we're talking about. And then Essie and China Glaze and OPI are more popular and a little bit more expensive. Now, the biggest factor I want to talk about first is price and availability. OPI out of all of these is the most expensive. You can find it typically around $8.50, $9 a bottle if you can buy them on sale at Ulta or something. You can get them for like $7.50 a bottle, but the normal price range is around $9. China Glaze, about $7.50-ish is the normal price for that. At Sally's you can get China Glaze for cheaper, especially with the Beauty Club card. You can get it for $5.99. Or there are lots and lots and lots of websites that sell China Glaze online. And the prices are good and you still have to pay shipping, but it's, I mean, you can get them for very discounted prices. OPI, I have not found very many websites where you can buy them discounted. I can't even find that many sites that sell them full price. So from what my research I've done, it really seems that OPI is keeping everything very targeted, and they want to keep it for, you know, so a lot of nail salons have them. So I think they're trying to keep the market more for salons, and they're not making it as readily available as China Glaze, because you can get China Glaze everywhere, and you can't do that with OPI. So and I've checked a lot of websites and I have found very few, but if you know of a place where you can get OPI for a relatively decent price, please leave me a comment down below and let me know, because I would love to be able to buy more OPI. But $9 a pop is kind of expensive for a bottle of nail polish in my opinion. And then Essie is also another higher brand. And you can buy those, you can get those at Walgreens and Walmart and stuff, though Essie is carried in other places. They are available at drugstores, but you can also get them at Ulta and online also. And then Sally Hansen is a drugstore, so you can buy it anywhere. Target, Walgreens, Walmart, you know, even at like the, in like the makeup section at, you know, like Safeway has them. So you can, Sally Hansen's very readily available in a lot of different places. So that, you know, that's kind of a factor right there. As far as, and especially too, like if you're living in like a smaller town, you know, you're not going to have an Ulta, or maybe you don't have a Sally's available so that you can go get other types of brands. So maybe all you can get is Sally Hansen or Revlon or something. And I haven't used, really the only drugstore brand I've used has been Sally Hansen. I haven't ventured out. I'm pretty loyal to my brands. There's only a very small handful of brands of nail polishes I will buy. I don't tend to go out and venture away from the brands that I want to purchase from very, very frequently. The brands I have that I buy from, I like, and so I don't really, I guess I really don't see the point of going out and shopping for something else if I already have what I like available for me. So I kind of want to compare these two a little bit first. So, and the reason I want to do that is because these, I would say these are probably the most popular in the higher end nail polish world. Not high end, I should say, but more of like, you know, just above, kind of mid-grade, you know, below your super high end, but above drugstore. But you get the same amount in these bottles. And the bottles look relatively the same. You know, obviously they have different logos and stuff, but they look pretty close. So, for me, and again, this is all kind of my opinion, these are my two top go-to brands. And really kind of depends on what I'm looking for in terms of what I'm going to buy. I do own more China Glaze than I do OPI, and the reason for that is 1, price, 2, availability, and 3, the color selection. So OPI, you know, like when I go in and I look at an OPI rack, they do have a lot of colors. Do not get me wrong. They come out with neon colors. They come out with blues and greens and all those other things. But for me, it seems like the meat of their selection are pinks and reds and corals and, you know, things along that spectrum. Because again, they cater to a lot of salons, and in a salon, you're going to find a lot more regular toned nail polishes, I guess, if you want to call it that, as opposed to more exotic colors. So they, you know, they want to keep something more basic. So a lot of my reds and stuff a lot of them come from OPI because they have a very wide selection. With China Glaze, I found they have a lot more neons. I have a lot more exotic colors. I have a lot more other things available than OPI does. So that in itself, you know, they got lots of yellows and all kinds of things. So that, you know, can really make a difference too. Again, you can find those colors in OPI. I'm not trying to say you can't, but to me it just seems that China Glaze has a bigger selection of them, if you will. So that's really the biggest thing. I mean, I will buy both of these, but I tend to buy more China Glaze, like I said, because it's easier and I can get it for cheaper, and that's, to me, that's a big deal. I mean, that's gonna kind of vary for everybody. The Essie, I don't own very many Essies. If you see my nail polish collection back there, I only have, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 Essies. I don't have very many. And I don't know why. I mean, I like them. The ones I've used with the formulas are not bad. But I guess when I'm looking at the Essie colors, like nothing really pops out at me. Like how it does with OPI and China Glaze. I mean, when I'm searching those, I'm like, ooh, I like that color. Ooh, I like that color. Or that would look good. Or I could do this kind of nail art with that one. But when I'm looking at Essie, I'm always just kind of like, seen it. Nothing unique, nothing unusual. These are like the two different, because, you know, Sally Hansen has lots of different polishes. And these two types are my go-to types for Sally Hansen. These are a phenomenal value because you can find them anywhere from $2.50 to $3 a bottle, the Xtreme wear, and that in itself I think is an amazing thing. you don't get quite as much. This is 0.4 ounces and this is 0.5. So the China Glaze and OPI have 0.5 ounces. And then in the Salon Complete Manicure, you get 0.5 ounces and this is 0.4. So, I mean, but still, it's not a big deal. And for the price, it's awesome. Again, you don't have as big as of a selection, obviously, with your drugstore brands. The colors that you have are much more limited and you do not have the wide variety. But you can still get, you know, good polishes and good colors in these brands. And I was really digging the Salon Manicure ones for a while. And I bought quite a few of them. But some of them are thick, like really thick, like so thick that they take a very long time to dry for nail art. It wouldn't take very long if I just used it and I put a clear coat on and let it dry. Because that clear coat really helps it dry quicker. Or I'm sorry, the top coat really helps it dry quicker. But for nail art, I've been having a lot of issues with Sally Hansen, the Salon Manicure. So I'm kind of stopped buying these. I mean, and I have a decent amount of their colors already anyway. So, I mean, if they come up with more colors, you know, maybe I'll get them. We'll see. Oh, I forgot to mention price for this one. This one depends on where you buy it. I've seen it anywhere from about $6.50 to $8.50. And I'm sorry, but if I'm $8.50 for this, for a Sally Hansen polish, I think is ridiculous. It's not OPI. It is not OPI. And you can buy OPI for that price. So Walgreens a lot of times will have these for 2 for $10, so you can get them for $5, so they're like super on sale. And that's how I bought a lot of these, because I'm not going to pay $8.50 for this bottle. I'm sorry, I just won't do it. Now I want to show you kind of some things with the brushes. So I'm going to take these guys apart and have the brushes pulled out, and I will be right back. So I got all my brushes out. And I got all the excess off so we can kind of talk about them. So we're going to kind of compare a whole bunch of different ones and just kind of look at the differences between them. And then kind of, you know, you can figure out which brands would maybe work better for you. So the first two I want to compare are going to be the China Glaze and the OPI. And that's because, again, like I mentioned, their OPI and China Glaze are the popular brands. They are the ones that get talked about the most. They're the ones that get reviewed the most. They are the ones that people buy the most. So we're going to compare these first. So I'm going to kind of put them side by side. And you can really see that the OPI, which is this one over here on this side, that brush is much whiter than the China Glaze. So it's really just a preference. And for me, it depends on what I'm doing. So if I want to just use one color on my nail, I like to use OPI because it's thick and it's big and wide. So therefore, I am going to get my manicure done faster because I'm able to use more polish. No, but if I'm doing something more intricate, or maybe I want to do multiple colors on my nail, I prefer China Glaze because it's smaller and I can get into the nooks and crannies of my nail bed a lot easier, if you will. So again, just kind of show you the difference. They're about the same length. The difference is really just how many bristles and how wide it is. So if you want a fuller, wider brush, then definitely go with OPI. If you want something maybe more thin, if you have a small nail bed, then something like the China Glaze would probably be better for you. Okay, so after looking at those, now I want to also incorporate the Essie brush. So the Essie brush, from what I can tell, the Essie brush is kind of in the middle between the OPI and the China Glaze. So it's not really super wide, but it's a little bit thicker than the China Glaze here. So here's Essie, OPI, and China Glaze. So it's a little bit thicker than that, but obviously not nearly as wide as the OPI. So again, if you're wanting a thin brush, Essie would be a good one for you also. Okay, so now we're going to compare the two Sally Hansen brushes. So this one on this side here, the lighter pink, that is the Salon Manicure, and then this one is the Xtreme Wear. So these are kind of like, in a way, kind of like comparing China Glaze versus OPI, because this complete Salon brush is very wide. And one thing that's different too, that none of the other brushes have, is, if you can see that up close, there it goes, it's focusing. The bristles are tapered at the top, which make it really easy when you're painting your full nail to get closer to your cuticle, because since it's tapered, you're not getting quite as much polish up there, and it's easier to move around. Again, if you're wanting to do more intricate work, or you have smaller nail beds, then the Xtreme Wear brand might be better for you. Okay, so I want to, because these are so close, I'm going to compare the OPI and the Sally Hansen, because these are the two whitest ones. So you can see that the Sally Hansen actually looks to me, it's a little bit wider than OPI. So, you know, again, that's just going to be personal preference. But the big difference to me, besides the width, is the top. So on the top, on the OPI, you can see it's flat and at the very tip. But as we just said, the Sally Hansen is tapered. So that's a big difference. And honestly, the brush is really what sold me with this particular kind from Sally Hansen. I really, really like this brush. So again, it's just going to depend on what you're doing. So if you want like a thicker brush, I recommend using Sally Hansen or OPI. If you're wanting a thinner brush, or the Sally Hansen Salon Manicure, I'm sorry. If you're wanting a thinner brush, you might want to go with the China Glaze, sorry, I'm going to put these down. China Glaze, Essie, or the the Xtreme Wear right here. So those, you know, it's just going to depend on what you want, what you're looking for, and what's going to work best for you. Formula wise, it's really going to depend, because even within a brand, some polishes within a brand can have amazing formulas and some can have really bad ones. Like within China Glaze, there are some amazing formulas, and I have worked with some awful formulas. Same with OPI and same with everything else. So that's going to be kind of hit or miss no matter what brand you're buying. I mean, I would say that OPI and China Glaze seem to be more consistent with finding good versus bad formulas, but it's really, it really just depends. Also, things can factor in. If it's a neon, it's going to be different. If you have a cream polish, is going to be different, or a jelly, or a glitter, or a shimmer. There's so many different kinds of polishes, and that's obviously going to change the formula for each one. The good news too, I wanted to mention, speaking of like different types, OPI and China Glaze both offer a wide variety of different types of polishes. And again, that's going to be because they offer so many different kinds. So if you go for something like, you know, the Sally Hansen, they're not going to provide as many different kinds because the line itself isn't as big. But even with Essie, I still feel that their Essie's collection is smaller than OPI and China Glaze. And I could be wrong on that. I don't know for sure. But from what I've seen so far, I just don't feel like they have as many different kinds and ones available as OPI and China Glaze does. So for my favorite brand, I would say China Glaze, but by this much. I mean, I really feel that China Glaze and OPI for me are both very good brands, and just depending on what I'm looking for and what I'm wanting to do is going to depend on which one I'm going for. Chip wise, I've had good luck with all the brands. I have had worn manicures for 8 or 9 days with no chipping on Sally Hansen products, with OPI products, with China Glaze products. And even with Essie, I've had success with that, but I personally feel that your top coat has a lot more to do with that than your polish. I don't ever go without a top coat. The top coat that I use is Satin, and that's the one you hear around everywhere and everyone swears by, and I gotta tell you, they're right. It is an amazing top coat, and I highly suggest, oh, and their base coat as well. The Such Clear, I think is what base coat's called. I use that for my base coat as well. They are amazing, and they will make your manicure last a lot longer. So I don't really know if it's the polish that I'm just having good luck with, or if it's because I'm using such an amazing top coat that's why I'm not chipping. Because like I said, I've had really good success with all of it, and I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, China Glaze chips on me, or oh, OPI chips on me. I have a little bit of it, but I don't particularly see that one brand does it more than the other for me, in my opinion. So that's how that kind of goes. So yeah, so that's kind of a nutshell the different things with those particular kinds. I mean, there's a million different brands of nail polish out there, and obviously you can't do a comparison on all of them, but I just felt that, you know, these are, like I said, these are my go-to brands I buy from more often than other brands, and it's the ones I hear that are talked about more often than others, so I thought that these would be good ones to kind of talk about. So yeah, so thumbs up if you like the video. Please leave me a comment down below letting me know what you thought, what you think could be better, you know, all those kinds of things. I have a lot of ideas that I want to do. I have some hauls I want to do. I have a Sephora haul and I have a China Glaze haul, and I have some different things I want to talk about in terms of nail art supplies and things like that. So I have a lot of ideas coming up that I really want to do, and I'm hoping I can do them soon. So that's it. Oh, I did want to mention, there's one thing I wanted to mention. I started a blog, and I will link that down below for you, but the blog is totalpolishjunkie.blogspot.com. So please go and check that out. On that blog, I'm going to be uploading all of my manicures and taking pictures and talking about what I did, if I did any nail art and those types of things. But I do want to take a lot of pictures and kind of show you, like for instance, this manicure that I just did, which these are neon colors, and the camera does not pick them up, but it's a neon orange, a neon hot pink, and a neon purple that I'm using right now with an ombre design, and I do have pictures and a blog. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say for right now. So I will talk to you guys very soon in my next video. Bye.